Hello everyone, today I want to do a short video going through my top 5 favorite throwers, and hopefully this will help you to decide what's best for you. There's a few different options here and a few different methods in which these lights achieve long distance throw. I've also made sure that I've picked ones that are pocketable because for me anyway, that's a really important thing when you're looking at an EDC, being able to carry it around in your pocket even if you've got to sacrifice a little bit on the size the throw of the flashlight. So let's start off. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Convoy M2. This is my new favorite throw. I think it's got the perfect balance in terms of the head size, which is only about, let's have a look, 31 millimeters in diameter. And how long is it? It is about 13 centimeters as well. It takes an 18-6-50, and I've been so impressed at how far this light throws, over 600 meters, has a PM1 emitter in there. This also, I think it comes with an NM1 emitter, so that one throws even further. I wouldn't be surprised if it throws up to 750 meters in the NM1 version. But the PM1 version of this emitter that I have here produces roughly 1,500 lumens. Doesn't get too hot in this host as well. Great temperature regulation. There's a few different modes in there that you can choose from. But bang for buck for you guys in the States, you're probably looking $20 to $30 to pick one of these up in the NM1 editions. So really recommend this one. The build quality, the value that you get out of it, and the performance, you just can't beat anything that around this price range from Convoy. I've looked around and that's the best value you can get. But the only issue you want to know is that they don't have onboard charging. You're going to need to have your own charger, external charger that costs maybe $5 to $10 on the side. But apart from that, I mean, it's fantastic. Even comes with this clip, stainless steel bezel. Very impressive. This is my new favorite EDC flashlight. I carry this around with me all the time. So moving on, we're going to go to the next flashlight. This is another one of my favorite EDCs, the Wurkkos FC12. I know the FC13 came out recently, but the FC12 is one of my favorites just due to this profile of it. It's got a really good throw. It has an SFT40 emitter, and as you can see, the reflector is very small. I mean, the bezel is only 2.2 centimeters, and you've got that SFT40 in there for maximum throw, and it produces 2,000 lumens theoretically. But the main reason why I picked this one is I just found myself when I was going out or just trying to pick a flashlight to carry with me, that the FC12 just was the easiest one to stick in my pocket just due to the size of it. And I did try carrying around a few others, but I found this one the most comfortable to put in my pocket. But over time, what I've realized is that I just wanted it to be able to throw further. Measuring this light on turbo, it throws 263 meters based on the calculations that I've done. So pretty decent for just a little flashlight like this. You can barely feel it in your pocket. Another thing is that it does get quite hot, so especially if you're using it on turbo all the time, it will heat up considerably. But there are different modes in here, ramping modes, step ramp modes, and you can always just swap down to a lower mode if it gets too hot. The temperature regulation is pretty good as well. Even if you've got it on high, it will ramp down to a safe level so that it doesn't overheat. It's also very affordable, I think, again, in the $20 to $30 range. If you guys are living in the States, it comes in a whole variety of colors. And one of the best functions I like about this flashlight is that it has a tactical switch. So you can press that button down halfway and access that turbo mode. You've got to ramp it all the way up to turbo first, turn it off, and then it will be able to access that turbo mode through a half press. And I think for an EDC that has tactical mode for $20, $30, you really can't get any better than this, apart from Convoy, maybe if you installed a forward switchy, something like that. But this one comes ready out of the box, and I'm always curious to see what this would even look like if I put in maybe a smaller emitter, like an NM1 or a PM1 emitter in there. Perhaps it would be able to throw even further, but for a tiny little reflector like this, and something you can just easily slip in your pocket without even noticing, great. All right, let's move on to TIR lights. Now, this one here is the Speras M4. I reviewed this one sometime in the past. It's one of my favorite throwers because it's tiny. Speras M4 is just about 7.5, just over 7.5 centimeters. Tiny little profile. The only thing that does get in the way, of course, with TIR flashlights is the head, and this one's about 4 centimeters, 40 millimeters in diameter. Now, because it's so short, it doesn't take up too much room in your pocket, but you do feel that head a little bit. So something to keep in mind. But this thing throws a significant distance. It throws over 600 meters if you have it on turbo. The beam profile of the Speras M4 is my favorite of all the TIR flashlights that I owned. It just has such a smooth transition between the flood and the hot spot in the middle, and it's got a perfect sort of circle. Also, it's warmer compared to my other TIR throwers. There's a custom LED in there. I'm not sure what exactly it's called, but Speras use their own LED in here. Usually you get the SFT40 put in a lot of these TIR throwers. So does come also with an 18350 battery in here. So pop that back in like that. So you don't get a whole lot of runtime, especially if you're using it on the high modes. On the lower modes, you're going to get a lot of runtime, but certainly you're not going to be able to expect that. I wish that it did have an extension tube available. I've not been able to really find one online. The modes, very easy to sort of use as well. You just press and hold down to switch between modes. Okay, you can also go, I think, and access strobe. You can lock out the flashlight as well 2 ways. You can just turn the tube like that so that it breaks connection, or you have an electronic lockout by pressing that switch 5 times. You've got onboard charging. Another TIR flashlight. This is the Sofirn IF22a. I'm sure a few of you guys would have seen this light already and heard about it already. It's one of the first flashlights that I got, and I love its beam profiles. You have this ability to ramp the beam up and down. I think there's also a step mode. You can switch in between that. You can lock out the flashlight, electronically lock it too. I like how the button's slightly recessed in there as well, and it has a very chunky feel to it. It's made of metal. A lot of the buttons that you see on flashlights, they just have the rubber sort of boot on it. The IF22a throws about 500 plus meters, so it's less than the Speras M4. I've also modified it a little bit and put in some a spring bypass to increase the current flow. This is 21700 cell battery in here, so you do get decent run times, which is fantastic. The beam of the IF22a is quite concentrated, but it's not as concentrated as the Speras M4. With that said, you get a lot more lumens. You get 2000 plus lumens with this one. With the Speras M4, I think it's only 1300 lumens, which is pretty good. And with a longer battery tube as well, almost 5 times the capacity of an 18350 cell battery. Here's the top of the flashlight, and it has an SFT40 emitter as well, which is great for throw and overall brightness. 6500K, so more on the bluish end. And I think this costs about $30 to $40 if you're in the States. Over here in Australia, it's about 50 something dollars on Amazon. So I think it's a pretty good deal for what you get, and it's quite practical as well. It also comes with a clip here, double-sided clip, that allows you to headstand it in your pocket or have it facing down. Okay, but I tend to have it facing up. It's just easier. Brings me to the point again of the head. You know, with these TIR flashlights, you're definitely going to have some issues in terms of putting them straight into your pocket. They just feel quite bulky in there. If it's a smaller body like the M4, you can get away with it, but with the larger head size, unless you've got a loose pocket or something like that, rather than a jeans pocket, you're going to have, it's going to kind of bug you. Overall, I think it's a very practical option. You can always fit it in your pocket, but the battery and the runtime and heat dispersion is really good on this. So moving on to my final favorite pocket thrower, this is the Nextorch T10L, and I love how it's got this tactical switch on the end. It's also got this ability to switch between different modes, so you can go low, medium, high, strobe. You can go back to tactical. You can go through each of the modes, so low and then half press to get high, and then full press to get a strobe mode as well. So being able to access high and strobe from just one button press is really impressive. And with pocket throwers, I do find having that tactical ability makes it so much more easy and low key to use. Sometimes you just want to light up an area for a short, second or two, and deactivating the flashlight noticeably quicker. This flashlight is an LEP flashlight, so laser excited phosphor. There's basically no flood, and it's all throw. It throws for 1,300 meters according to my tests. So it's more of a light that helps to illuminate objects, specific objects, from a distance, or maybe you could be using it for a self-defense situation, who knows. But at the end of the day, it's not something that you can use at close quarters and see where you're going, see what's around you. So practicality, in my opinion, it's limited. But if you're looking for throw alone, LEPs like the Nextorch T10L are second to none, because with any other LED flashlight, you just need a really large reflector to be able to throw that kind of distance. But something like this, you can just as easily put in your pocket and accomplish that same amount of throw. So that's it for this video. I hope this was useful for you, showing you the difference between the different types of LEDs and different mechanisms that these lights use in order to achieve long distance throw. They all fit in your pocket, but it's really up to you in terms of what you're willing to sacrifice, what you're willing to put up with as well. If you're going to want longer battery life and a larger, longer beam distance, you're just going to have a larger flashlight. There's no way around it. Either a large head or reflector at the end of the day. And same thing goes with capacity of the battery. You have these batteries here which are going to hold a lot more. You have the 18650 and 21700 cells, which are going to last a lot longer. And comparing that with something like the Speras M4 with the 18350, you're going to get 1/5 of the runtime, especially if you're on high. So if you found this video helpful, do me a favor and click the like button. And if you want to see some more reviews, make sure you subscribe. Wurkkos FC12 and turbo. FC12, decent throw, as you can see. Look at that, very focused sort of beam. Reaches those trees right at the back. FC12. Convoy M2 with PM1. This is on highest mode. Very easily reaches the trees all the way in the back. It's amazing how far it throws for such a small reflector. Convoy M2 on high. Some trees closer by, and the water, bit of a pond over here. You see these trees that are a bit closer, and also ones at the top here. Say they're about 50 meters away. All the way to the back there. Where that lamp is, see a couple of those lamps easily illuminating the area, and with the naked eye it's actually much easier to see the what's in the spill beam. Very strong thrower, especially for its size. There's a little silhouette of the trees. Someone walking over there. There they are. M2. M2 on 100%. M2.
EDC22a. T10L.
This is your light?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, no, you get the torch.
Yeah.
I thought someone down there.
I do some like reviews for these things.
Say again?
I do like some reviews for these things.
Like gadgets,
Yeah.
YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Mm.
And this is a review on the torch or the camera?
Torch.
Torch.
Yeah.
How many looms?
T10L. T10L. T10L.